This is an instructional video on how to safely tow the Our Lady of Fatima pilgrimage statue. We're going to be covering how to hook up the trailer to your vehicle, but first we want to make sure that your vehicle is compliant. Can your vehicle tow at least 5,000 pounds? Does your vehicle have the inputs for the electrical harness? These are two things that we're going to want to check before getting started. Step one, we're going to be talking about the hitch and connecting it to your car's vehicle. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure that all of the cables are organized and out of the way before you bring back your vehicle. This will ensure that you don't pinch anything important and destroy any of the electrical harnessing. So, lay out the cables and the chains on the ground, and you're almost ready to start moving your vehicle back. But before we do, this trailer is equipped with a safety precaution to ensure two things. One, that no one steals your trailer, and two, that the trailer is secured to your ball hitch. If you pull this back on the lock, it'll expose the keyhole. Use your key to unlock and pull off of the lock base. This here is the safety latch. This needs to be in the up position before connecting your vehicle to the hitch. Hold it up and slide the metal bar through it, through one of these holes, to ensure that the latch stays in the up position. At this point, making sure that your harness is out of the way of the ball hitch, making sure that your safety latch is in the up position, you're now ready to have an assistant help you move the vehicle back safely to be connected. We're almost ready to bring the vehicle back to connect it to the hitch. But before we do, we want to check a couple of things. You need a 2-inch ball on your vehicle to use this trailer. Secondly, the ball height needs to be 15 to 16 inches off the ground. And lastly, you're going to want to crank your jack of the trailer to make sure that it's high enough to clear the ball height. Lastly, you want to make sure that no cables are in the way before bringing the vehicle back so that nothing gets pinched. With somebody helping you out from the vehicle, we're now ready to bring the vehicle back. With the vehicle pulled back and resting underneath the hitch, we're now ready to do three things. Lower the hitch onto the ball, latch the safety latch, and lock it into place. So we're going to do that right now. This is the safety latch. It needs to go in the down position once your hitch is on top of your ball. You can then slide the lock through either side and relock it to ensure it cannot be removed. Now with your safety lock latched and locked, you're now ready to raise your jack. Raise it all the way up before attempting to move it. On the back of the jack is a safety pin. Hold this all the way up and move the jack to the back position. Replace the safety pin through both the top and the bottom holes. With the jack now in the up position, we're now ready to connect the chains to the vehicle, the safety brake cable, as well as the electrical harness. First thing you want to do is the safety chains. It's very important when installing the chains that they cross underneath the hitch before connecting it to your vehicle. Underneath the other chain, crossing over, and connect on this side as well. This is to ensure that in case the trailer drops, it's supported by the chains and doesn't drag on the ground. Secondly, your safety interlock, and this is designed so that if the vehicle becomes detached from the trailer, it will pull on this cable and engage the brakes in the trailer so that the trailer doesn't continue rolling. This is to be securely fastened on either side of the back hitch. And certainly important to note that this cord should not be too tight and taut. so that in case you do any sharp turns, it doesn't engage the brake. You want some slack. Lastly, the electrical harness. If you plugged it in right now, you would see that the cable would drag on the ground, destroying the cable. So you want to find a better route for it. And this should be the last step after connecting the chain, so you can see exactly what you're working with. In this scenario, I'll loop it around the jack. But for your particular application, you may find that it's better suited looping around the back end of the hitch before plugging into your vehicle. You really just have to navigate the cable depending on your application to ensure that it does not drag on the ground. It's also very important to note that the cable should not be too tight. In case you make any sharp turns left or right, the cable won't pull out from the vehicle. This trailer is equipped with a surge brake system. This lever right here in the up position enables the brakes on the trailer when towing. If in the event you need to reverse the trailer onto uneven gravel, onto a steep slope, and you want the brakes on the trailer to not become engaged, you would push this lever to the down position. In typical towing, and to enable the brakes on your trailer, keep the lever in the up position. At the front of the trailer, we have a storage compartment which will house the spare tire, the jack, safety triangles, extension cables, and cleaner for the windows around the trailer. I'd like to talk about what's going to be stored in here as well, including the battery, which will be charged with the extension cables, as well as the light switch to turn the lighting on the inside of the trailer on. And brother, if you come over here and take a closer look, I'll show you where the switch is located. In the top left-hand corner, if you pull up the cover, you will expose the switch, which if you flip to the up position, will turn the lighting on. On the outside of the trailer, you'll know that the lighting is on with the LED indicator light. And this is strategically placed here as well so that the driver, if looking through his rearview mirror, will be able to see the light has been left on, or if the light is off, he knows that the battery is not draining. This is the assortment of items that will be kept inside the front trailer housing. We have our safety triangles, which should be used in the event of a flat tire or a vehicle breakdown. Your jack, in case of a flat tire. You also have here your extension cables. These should be plugged in to the battery to keep the battery charged. And there's 3 ways to charge the battery. This trailer is equipped with a solar panel, which has a trickle charge at all times. When it's connected to your vehicle and you're towing it with the electrical harness, that'll also be charging the battery. But since the battery doesn't last more than a day and you're parked, you want to plug in the electrical extension cable. We use pledge or furniture polish to clean the windows on all sides of the vehicle. This has no ammonium and no alcohol. This is soft paper towels. We recommend using soft paper towels instead of standard paper towels so that it doesn't scratch the coating on the plastic. Microfiber cloths work great as well. This here is a dustpan just to keep the area inside the trailer clean at all times. These will all be stored inside the compartment as well as the spare tire. The trailer doors can easily be pulled down by pulling on this handle all the way down and then pushing down to lock into position. With the keys included, you can then correspond the number on the padlock, which is J236, to the number on the white key, J236, and lock it. If it doesn't lock easily, jiggle up and down and it will lock. Pull the keys out and then you can no longer open the window. This same system is to be used on all 3 sides. And lastly, before entering the trailer, you're going to have to unlock it. Entering the 3-digit code, turning left, and opening the door with a small handle, you can then, with a bungee cord included inside the storage compartment. Connect one end to this loop and one end to this loop. This will ensure that the door stays open. If you fail to do this, this door catches a lot of wind and will slam and could potentially damage and break the window. We're now on the inside of the trailer, and I'd like to talk about a few points for moving our lady from the inside of the trailer to the outside. These pins hold the handles which will be used to transport our lady. Pulling up on the pin will allow you to remove the handle completely. Important, on the left side of the base of our lady is another pin which needs to be removed before picking our lady up and moving her out of the trailer. In transport, this pin should always be in. I'd like to make a note of the storage behind the curtain. Behind the curtain here, there will be many plastic containers which will house literature perhaps, or the crown for Our Lady. This storage container should always be secure before transporting the trailer to make sure that they don't move around or fall. The crown should always be stored in one compartment in transport. The crown is very fragile, it's very expensive, we don't want it to get damaged. Also, with access behind here is access to the spare tire. You will have to get the tire out from this storage compartment. It cannot be taken out from the front storage compartment in the event of a flat tire. So what you would want to do is you would want to remove these handles by pulling up on the cotter pin, pulling the handles out, and storing them in the left side of the trailer so that they're out of the way. You can then gain access to the storage compartment spare tire. We're now going to walk through on how to remove Our Lady from the back of the trailer. The first thing you're going to want to check is that the two pins on either side of the base have been removed and set to the side. If Our Lady has been on a procession and the crown is still on her head, you'll want to make sure that you remove that crown from her head and put it in the storage behind the curtain before trying to remove her from the trailer. Alright, now brothers, if you can assist in removing Our Lady. Two people are required to lift straight up on the base. After the base has been lifted, you pull it forward, but make very careful mention of the fact that there is not a lot of headroom, and if you continue to move out, Our Lady's head will get hit. So at that point, you want to put her on the ground and easily pull her out with caution. At this point, you can set her down, and if you would like, you could remove the handles. We're now going to cover putting Our Lady safely back into the trailer. So if two people would go to either end and pick up in unison, walk towards the trailer, making special note of the headroom of Our Lady. Place the back of the base onto the floor and move her towards the brace on the inside of the trailer. This brace here will support the base of Our Lady by picking up, moving over the brace, and setting directly over. At this point, you're going to want to reinstall the pins on either side. And at this point, you can also remove the handles on either side in case you want to turn Our Lady and face out either window. We'll now demo that. Whenever removing the handles, place them on the inside, as brother is demonstrating here. There will be something to keep them in place. If two people go to either end and with the metal brackets, lift in unison. Oh, make sure to remove the pin. Pull up in unison, and she can then be turned to face out either the left or the right window. Replace her over the base and restore the pins. Okay. In the event that she's facing out the left or right window, the pins cannot be inserted, but make mention that she should never travel on the highway or roads in this position. She should only be traveling with the pins inserted facing out the rear. With our lady securely back in the trailer now, we're going to walk through the closing procedures for towing our lady. Make sure that the glass is closed on all three sides. You now have the option of locking it. If in transport, it's a good idea to lock it. It's also important to note that the doors can only be up if our lady is traveling at less than 10 miles per hour. This would be in the event of a procession. You can leave the doors up. Anything faster than that, shut the windows on all three sides. Before traveling, make sure to remove the tire chocks and put them in the front storage container area where we also house the tire jack and other maintenance equipment. Couple things to make sure before moving the trailer: that the latch is securely in the down position. This will ensure that the ball does not come detached from the trailer and that it is securely locked with the 3-key set. And just to go over one more time, the black key is for the black lock, and the 2 white keys correspond to the front trailer compartment and the windows. And you can make note of the code on the keys and the padlock to determine which one is which. In closing, we've talked about how to safely connect the trailer to the vehicle. We've talked about the maintenance compartment at the front end of the trailer and what will be housed in there, including the spare tire and all maintenance equipment. We've also talked about the LED light indicator. This will be on when the lights on the inside of the trailer are shown. The max speed, 65 miles an hour. Only 10 miles per hour when the window shades are in the up position on the outsides of the trailer. One thing that we didn't talk about, and is very important, are the tire chocks, which should be used in place every single time this is detached from your vehicle. These should be secured under both tires, and these tire chocks are going to be stored on the inside compartment of the front trailer compartment. Towing this trailer is a great honor, and with that comes a great responsibility. You want to make sure to do a walk around every single time you're done with the trailer and about to transport it. This walk around should include things like making sure that the shades are locked, making sure that the tire chocks are in place or removed if you're about to leave, making sure that the thread on the tires are healthy. You also want to make sure that the air pressure in the tires is adequate and appropriate. All of these things need to be done every single time you're done with the trailer. If any questions, you see anything of concern, please alert the Regina Coeli House immediately. Thank you very much for participating, and God bless.